Hey there. Have you ever wanted to share a really great memory or just tell a friend about your day, but you couldn't find the right words in English? Well, if that sounds familiar, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to unlock the art of storytelling by mastering one simple but super powerful tool, the past tense.
Think about it. It's a question you hear all the time, right? How was your day? What did you get up to yesterday? It sounds so simple, but for a lot of English learners, answering it can feel like a pop quiz. You want to share what happened, but it just feels clunky.
And this really gets to the heart of it. That feeling of being put on the spot, your mind just goes blank. You don't want to be stuck with no words. But you know what? We are going to fix that starting right now.
So first things first, why is this so important? Look, the past tense isn't just some boring grammar rule you have to memorize for a test. No way. It is literally the language of our experiences, our memories. It's how we connect with people.
That's the whole thing right there. Without a good handle on the past tense, you can't really describe your day, you can't share a lesson you learned, and you can't tell people about the things that made you, well, you. It's absolutely fundamental.
Okay, let's dive in and start building. We're going to begin with the foundation of any story about the past. This is the workhorse of storytelling, the simple past tense. This is where it all begins.
And the great thing about the simple past is that it's, well, simple. We use it for things that are done, finished, totally over. Just think about your routine yesterday. Every little thing you did was a completed action. And for most verbs, the rule is so easy. You just tack on an ed at the end.
And right here, you can actually see a story starting to form. It's like building with Legos. Step 1, I woke up. That's your first block. Then, I made breakfast. Another block. I went to school. See? Each one is a finished action, and when you line them up, you've created a simple, crystal clear story of your day.
All right, so that ED rule is awesome. It really is. But, English likes to keep us on our toes. It's got some rebels, the irregular verbs, and you can't tell a great story without them, but they totally play by their own rules.
And this shows you the difference perfectly. Over on the left, you've got your regular verbs. Easy peasy. Walk becomes walked, play becomes played. Simple. But then, look at the right. These words completely change. Go becomes went. See becomes saw. There's no simple rule here. These guys you just have to get to know.
But, and this is a big but, here's the good news. You do not need to memorize hundreds of these all at once. Seriously, just focus on the most common ones. And if you think about it, these top 5 verbs here, they're about the most basic things we do as humans. Being, having, doing, going, and seeing. So if you just master these 5, your storytelling ability will get a massive boost, like immediately.
Exactly. Think of it less like a chore and more like a fun puzzle. You're just collecting the most important pieces first, and once you have them, the whole picture of your story just snaps into focus. Okay, so we've got our foundation down with the simple past. Now it's time for the fun part. Let's start adding some layers to make our stories richer, more detailed, and just way more interesting to listen to. And here is our first layer, the past continuous. This tense is like your secret weapon for setting the scene. It describes something that was happening, an action in progress, when something else suddenly happened. This is how you build suspense and give your story some real atmosphere.
So, let's start with a simple past sentence. He tampered with the alarm. Okay, it's a fact, the action is done, it's over. But it's a little boring, isn't it? We don't really get a lot of detail.
Now look at this. He was tampering with the alarm when Nora walked in. Whoa, see the difference? Suddenly we have drama. The action of tampering was ongoing, it was in the middle of happening, and then, bam, Nora walks in. It was interrupted. That one little change completely transforms the feeling of the story.
All right, let's look at another powerful tool for talking about the past, used to and would. On the left, we've got used to. We use this for past habits and past states that aren't true anymore. So you could say, I used to live in New York. That's a state. Or I used to play the guitar. That's an action. Now look at the right. What is a little more picky? We only use it for repeated actions, usually when we're telling a nostalgic story, like every summer my family would go to the beach, but you can't use it for a state. You can't say I would live in New York. It just sounds off. It's a small difference, but getting it right makes you sound so much more natural.
Okay, listen, even the most advanced speakers make mistakes sometimes. So let's look at the biggest, most common trap people fall into. If you can avoid this one thing, your stories will be so much clearer and easier for people to follow.
The number one mistake, by far, is being inconsistent, jumping between tenses. Look at the confusing example on the left. It starts with, we were. Okay, so we're in the past. But then it jumps to, the sky turns, which is present tense. It's like it pulls your listener out of the story. But if you look at the clear example on the right, it stays consistent. The sky turned. Everything stays in the past, so the timeline is solid.
Here's another perfect example. In that first sentence, the story jumps from yelled and was, both past, to is, which is present. This makes me ask, wait, is Nana nagging the person right now? Is she still around? It's confusing. But the consistent version on the right keeps everything firmly in the past, which paints a really clear, consistent picture of what Nana was like back then.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's that grammar isn't about passing a test. It's about connection. It's about giving you the confidence and the power to share your life, your ideas, your experiences with the world. And guess what? You now have the tools you need to do exactly that.
So here it is, your brand new storytelling toolkit. You've got the simple past for the basic timeline. You've got the essential irregular verbs to make your stories sound authentic. You've got the past continuous to add all that juicy detail and drama. And you know that consistency is the secret sauce that holds it all together.
You've got the tools, you've got the knowledge, and I know you have stories that are worth sharing. So the only question left is the most exciting one of all. What story are you going to tell? Go out there and share it.